Power law. I read this term, I think, for the first time in the book 0 to 1. And before I'll say anything, I would like to show what power law looks like. It's like this. I hope you can see it. There's exponentially dropping curve and then asymptote towards x-axis. This curve is, I think, the most fundamental thing I've learned about business application. As in, any business, I have never come across any business that does not apply power law. What does that mean? So it essentially means that there are only few things that are extremely important for any business to succeed, and there are bazillion things that can ask for your attention, but they are not important for your success. And practicing this law is really hard because, I mean, we humans have built a society in which we teach us children, we teach each other to diversify our attention, to put our attention on so many different things where we don't know about the ROI of those things. As in, if somebody, for example, is completely focused on a few things, let's say 2-3 things in his or her life, and is not focused on other things in his life or her life, we don't feel good about such a person. I mean, I've observed this thing. So that's societal observation, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the application of this simple mathematical curve and how hard it is cognitively to practice this thing. What it essentially says is that, for example, if you take your entire day, so everybody has around 24 hours, or not around 24 hours, I would say exactly 24 hours. So given that that time is fixed, and all of us have bazillion things to do in a day, this tells us that you have to prioritize your day in order to achieve whatever you want to achieve. If you don't prioritize, if you do not put your important things first in the day, and then lesser important things, you would be spending your time on useless things and not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. I feel before I continue talking more about this curve, I should explain the curve. I mean, I'll give a few examples. I have not prepared a script, so everything is coming out of my mind. So bear with me if I make some mistakes. So if you want to understand the curve, you have to understand this by a few examples. So if y-axis is money, let's say, and x-axis is population, and if you see the curve again, what it says is that a few people have a lot of money and most of the people do not have. And if you go right now and check distribution of money in society in countries like India, US, anywhere, you'll find this curve in some shape or format. That's one example. So what was the example? So a few people have a lot of money and a lot of people have little. So that is how the curve comes like this. If you take another example, so let's take people in your life on x-axis, as in people, as in friends, family, and colleagues and whatnot. So you put all of them on x-axis, and the value of those people in your life to you, again it will be the same curve, that a few people, let's say a family or friends, are really important, and leaving your family or friends, let's say 10-20 people, everyone else is not that important in your life. If somebody dies in some other region of the country or the world, you don't give a fuck. But if your friends and family goes through some traumatic event, you do care about them. So the value of those people who are near you and dear to you are I mean, the value is really important. And people who are not so close to you, you don't give a shit about them. So it's a good way to understand mathematically how our brain works. If I have to give more examples, I've given for money, I've given for people. Let's take stuff. So I'm a male, so I have my own infinities. I like, let's say, bike, I like car, I like my laptop, I like my water bottle, I like my purse, I like my book, I like mobile phone. So there's a lot of stuff in everyone's life, maybe hundreds and hundreds of stuff. But if you put all your stuff on the y-axis, again there'll be a few things that are really really important to you, and rest of the stuff you might be, you might not be interested in having. For example, if this is my phone, my phone has a lot of value to me. If I lose my phone, I'll be really miserable. But that, let's say, here I have my socks. If I lose one of my socks, I don't care about that. Similarly, my laptop will be in this curve because it is really valuable to me. I spend most of my time on my laptop. But water bottle, maybe, maybe not, or a mug, or I mean, things that I don't value. So the curve again states that there will be a few things out of hundreds and hundreds of things that you own, one or two or three or five things that are really important to anybody or to me, and the rest of the stuff is not that important. So I've given three examples: one, money; another, people in your life; third is stuff in your life. So I mean, you can go on and on and on, and this curve comes again and again and again in life. So this was one of the revelations that if you use this principle in your life, you can be really efficient. That was one of my deductions. First. Second, without this law being followed in business, no one will ever succeed. It's a bold claim, I understand, but I haven't come across any business that has not followed power law, which translates into doing a few things that are really important for your success and leaving the rest of the stuff. If you don't do this in business, you will die. Certainly, you will die. So, I have a habit of extrapolating a few things that I've learned in one frame of reference to general purpose utility in my life. What does that mean? I'm trying to say that what if you could use power law for all of your decision makings? What if it becomes a habit of yours? That's a beautiful thing. That would mean anything and everything I would do, I would try to prioritize, and then I would try to sort things accordingly, put my attention according to the priority, which is a good thing. But I have to be honest, my friends, I've been trying to do this for 3, 4 years, 5 years. It is really hard. Our brains fight with ourselves. Even after you knowing that there's a good thing that you should prioritize, that you should uh, do things in a sorted manner, our brains don't allow us. Society doesn't allow us. And people who are successful to follow, were able to follow this thing, they really run the society. I mean, because in my understanding, they have achieved one of the hardest things in human cognition. They, by drawing a corollary, they can do other hard things in their life, and doing a business is one of the hard things in anyone's life. So most people who are able to follow this thing, prioritize their stuff, their time, are able to run businesses as well. So the highest point is, I want you to know that there's something called power law. It's a simple curve, but it has deep, you know, effect on our human existence. And I would love to meet people who really follow this thing in their life. I would really want to communicate with those because I have my own problems in trying to apply this thing in my life. But I consider myself lucky that I at least know this thing, and I'm trying every day to get better, to apply this thing. I hope to meet a lot of people who would be using this thing in their life soon. Thank you.